Hey everyone. So today I'm going to talk about what it means to do inner work when you're intuitive, empathic, highly sensitive, and you have your own business. And let me know if it's too noisy. I just had somebody join. Can you guys hear the wind? Like, it is so gorgeous outside. I live where it's going to be 105 degrees today. I live outside of Austin in Georgetown, Texas. And we actually have a breeze, and in the shade, it's not miserable right now. So, yes. Anyhow, I want to talk about inner work, what that means when you have a business, when you're trying to do consistent work, and when you're intuitive, empathic, and highly sensitive, and you're really doing work on yourself and want to show up authentically. So 2 days ago, today is Wednesday, on Monday I started saying I was going to do a live every day. I'm going to take these off. And I meant to yesterday. I had back-to-back meetings, but also some of the work that I've been doing has been on some of my own inner work. And sometimes when we do that kind of work and we're doing energy-related inner work, it'll take you down for a while and it's hard to show up publicly. So I thought that would be helpful for people to understand, because sometimes when we're working on our own, we don't often recognize what it actually takes and what it means when people say, oh, you need to show up consistently all the time in your business, and you need to, consistency means this, and you need to be there every day. But the truth is, energetically, it may not make sense. And if you follow your energy, you're actually doing what's more correct for you. But your mind will still tell you, hey, I'm doing something wrong. There's judgment. Like, I should have shown up. I said I'd do it. I didn't do it. So I'm giving myself grace and saying, I didn't get to it yesterday. Maybe I'll do 2 today instead. I don't know. So let's talk about inner work. Inner work can be anything that has to do with helping you identify what's happening in your inner world, your emotions, your senses, your soul, the part of you that's your spark. And that can be anything from traditional therapy, so working with a psychologist who helps you talk things out and helps you see yourself. It can be, inner work can also involve meditation or yoga, where you get quiet with yourself and you just kind of have this stillness of feeling who you are and what's important to you. And as you gain awareness, even inner work is having a relationship with someone that things don't work well with, like just practicing having the conversations and seeing how you respond. And there's a lot of ways that inner work can show up in a very normal way. So one version of inner work can be, let's say you're working in a job that you don't like, and you're noticing the interactions back and forth between you and the job and the work, and you're spending time talking to someone else who helps you reflect back, like working with a coach that helps you see, oh, there's things that I'm doing, patterns I'm developing, or patterns I'm living out that I'm not aware of. Now, there's more to that, right? So when you're gaining self-awareness, you're expanding your energy field and you're finding greater alignment with yourself. That's the reason we find people to help us, whether it's a therapist or a coach or someone else. So I want to talk about this someone else's, because a lot of times we only think there are these limited options, and there are so many options today, and these are specifically relevant when you're intuitive or you're empathic or highly sensitive. Like, this is relevant for absolutely everyone. But the truth is, when you're sensitive to energy, it does help to find people who work with energy. So let me give you some other examples of inner work. I purposefully seek out practitioners when you're looking for massage or body work, because body work for yourself, when you find the right kind, can actually open up your field so that you can process all the energy going through you that is emotional energy, right? So when we're feeling a lot of stuff, we're feeling the emotions and thoughts of others. We're also feeling our emotions and thoughts. And so we can find practitioners that help us move that energy through our field. We're not just a physical body. So when I look for massage therapists, I always look for things that give me clues that they might do other work. So that would be anybody who does craniosacral work or traditional myofascial work. When they're listening for such a tiny little energy in your body, chances are they're already highly sensitive and often bring in their own gifts. So I have an energy worker that is actually presents as a massage therapist, but she moves energy. So like she will move a problem through your field so that you're not having the same charge or emotional connection with it. And that's also part of her gifts and her angels. So that's inner work, okay? Because I've had awareness and I can walk in. I can also walk in and say, I just need help because I'm feeling like this and I don't know what's going on. Or I can walk in and say, I'm moving through divorce and I'm feeling a lot of energy around worth. Like I'm feeling like this, this, and this. And then she can move that energy for me. Okay, so that's a version of energy work. Another version of energy work, and this is why I wasn't here yesterday, was I have a beautiful colleague who does cord cutting. And again, I've talked about this before in a previous message, but cord cutting is really about dissolving the energetic like river between you and another person that you've constructed with not helpful energies. We have multiple ones. We can have helpful energies, but the not helpful energies, it helps to release those. So I did a cord cutting with my son that was really profound and deep, and it left me feeling tender all day. Like that's the best way to say it. My physical self, I felt great, but energetically, like the energy around me felt a lot softer. Like I didn't need to be engaging with other people. I got through what needed to be got through, and then I needed to tend to myself. So that's a version of energy work and inner work, because in inner work, what's coming up in that is it's revealing as I share where I feel stuck or not in as happy a place as I want to be in that relationship. I'm discovering for myself where I have like little twisted areas, and then through her work she identifies what those specific emotions are. She can give me words to the emotions. So abandonment, rejection, blame, whatever those might be. So that's a version of energy. It's inner work, but it's energy work, and it has consequences that influence how we feel and then therefore how we would show up. And if I had pushed myself through that to show up for you all, then I'm not honoring myself. Like I'm not honoring the energy and then trusting the divinity of my soul, knowing it's okay, you don't have to do that today. You can show up tomorrow and still have the same benefit. That kind of thing is not normally acceptable in business. But it is necessary for us when we're growing a business in alignment with ourselves and we actually want to create something that's really meaningful, but also really nourishing for us. Another reason I think that I probably felt that more than usual, because I've done cord cuttings before and continued working, was because I'm doing a different kind of inner work. I have a friend and we're doing a trade, and the nature of her energy and the nature of her work is so unique. She tends to work with energies that are so incredibly big that just spending time with her is going to move energy. So if you have friends or if you know other people who are very committed and very passionate, and actually she does do energy work. She moves energy for people. She moves energy for spaces. Like her most recent project was to clear the energy around a church that has now been repurposed. It's in some place in Europe. It's been repurposed to another purpose, and it's not a church any longer, but it was historically. And so when you're moving that kind of energy for something that's hundreds and hundreds of years old, you have to understand that, she holds that capacity in her field. So she's moving things at that level. So if you're working with somebody like that, or if you have friends and you spend time with them, like whenever she and I get together for lunch, forget it. Like it's like we're just operating in some other field. We're talking about normal family life things and normal things, but when I leave, I feel like I'm in an altered state. And that continues because that is stuff that's taking place at a completely different realm than this physical body, but it affects my body and affects my capacity to show up in the way that my mind says I need to. So that's another example of inner work. Here's another example of inner work. I have another practitioner friend. I work with a lot of people who work with energy. She realigns your energy fields so that you don't feel the charge around something. So let's say you recognize that every time you get into this conversation with your mother, you can't seem to get these things across. Picking something more relatable, right? It can be anything. It can be with a child, a friend. It can be like, I'm always feeling like I have to eat chocolate. But with her, it's whatever your having something that feels stuck around, you can have a conversation with her, and what she does is she removes the charge of the coherence that you have with that energy, and opens the way that you can then create a more positive coherence with something. So it's a very gentle thing, and I often can leave one of those sessions and feel like I'm pretty much the same person until you come into contact with the situation that was the trigger for you. It no longer holds the charge, right? So that's another kind of inner work, because it is allowing you to expand yourself into becoming the person you really know you want to be, or who you know in your heart actually exists. And the reason I sat down to do all of this is because I don't think we have enough information out there about the different kinds of inner work we can do. A lot of times it comes back down to meditation, and it comes to self-awareness and therapy work. And there's so many different ways that we can support ourselves. And then the second reason I wanted to do this is just to remind you there are so many things that come up for us as humans, but I include my intuitive circle of people, because we have more awareness around this. We have more acceptance of doing this. This is going to become normal for everyone. We're going to have practitioners the same way we have chiropractors. There are going to be energy workers on the corner, and we go to them. Or the chiropractor you have is actually an energy worker. Working with the energy to move our feelings, our emotions, our charges, our triggers, our traumas is inner work. So, hope this has been helpful for you. I am going to continue doing my lives on the regular, and I'm thinking about doing smaller, shorter little posts that help people understand, just like take it into more bite-sized pieces. But I really wanted to have an opportunity to connect with you, because I'm getting ready to open up a group mentoring program for intuitive women in business. So if you have any questions, or if you're curious about this, let me know. Leave me a DM, or feel free to leave a comment, and I'm happy to connect. All right, take care, you all. We'll see ya.